What's up? Welcome back, guys. CageCast. It's Mike. It's Fight Talk. We're going to recap that 314 that just happened. And today I've got Olwhitee and Jason on today. What's up, guys? How you doing?
All's good.
It's going. It's going.
Awesome. Awesome. It's great to see you guys. This is the first time we've gotten all three of us on a chat. And you know what? I see you got your belt out there, Olwhitee. Show us that belt. What you got there?
This is my World's Greatest Dad Championship belt. I'm taking on challengers, by the way. I had to come out of retirement, but I am taking on challengers. Yeah, dream on.
One day.
Jason, is that are you accepting challenges?
Chandler did.
Well, just to let you know, the last friend of mine that challenged him got laid out in the front yard. So
That's right.
Well, guys,
keep dancing.
It did happen though. It did happen. I had a buddy that thought he was going to challenge my dad, and then my dad threw a cheap shot. My dad laid him out with a good 1-2. But bam, it was nice.
Oh, bam. Oh, nice. Yeah. On those 1-2s.
Yeah.
It was a highlight reel.
It was pretty nice.
You're going to be my next one.
Oh, I don't know about that.
All right, guys. Anyway. Well, 314 just went down over the weekend, guys. It started off with the Krylov Dominic Reyes. If you guys remember, I was definitely saying Dominic Reyes was going to get this. Whitey, who are you going for again?
I went with Krylov, and that was a mistake. He looked horrible.
Jason, who'd you go for?
I also I went with Reyes as well, and I was ecstatic. That was a beautiful TKO stoppage, so I was super happy about that.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking Krylov had been out for a couple of years. There could be some ring rust there. I couldn't find any info if it was an injury or if he just hadn't been taking a fight or what happened, if it was just some family issue. But anyway, 2 years out, Dominic Reyes had been a little bit more active. And I wanted to see that promising Dominic Reyes that went up against John Jones. And I think he brought it. That back step is almost like that signature Conor McGregor punch, that backstepping counter punch, and he just nailed it right on the chin. Even though your guy didn't win, Olwhitee, what'd you think about Dominic Reyes' performance?
Super impressed with it. Like you said, it was just a textbook one too.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, except you weren't taking a back step on that one, but it was definitely a great counter.
No. I'm just saying, I'm a little partial to the 1-2.
Yeah, I definitely jumped out of the seat and was like, I called it. What did you think, Jason? Were you doing the same thing?
Oh, absolutely. I was excited just because I was that's who I had already picked. And I thought he had that. We had talked a little bit about, finishing. And I think that, that's what happened. He stepped up. Like you said, he got that good 1-2. And then he stopped him on the ground and just gave him a little ground and pound. Called it.
Super necessary.
Absolutely.
Well, I think going into the next fight, the featherweight fight between Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva, you guys know how I feel about Bryce Mitchell. I love it. Make fun of when his flat earth theories. I always root against him because of flat earth. And not only that, but this time the Fighting Nerds, these guys are incredible. They're putting on, I think they're undefeated within their little group that they've got. What do you think about that performance from Gene Silva, guys? And who did you go for? Starting with Jason.
I actually went with Mitchell only because I was hoping that, all this pre-fight back and forth was really going to fire him up and we were going to see something different out of Bryce Mitchell. But it was kind of the same thing. He comes in and he almost looks scared, if I'm being honest. He comes in very timid looking and then he kind of gets a few shots here or there. He was trying to box with Silva, and I think that was a bad move. And then once he was starting to get tagged up, he started trying to go for takedowns, and that wasn't really working. So, I mean, for him to get submitted by Silva with his ground game being so good, I think that was a cherry on top for Silva with all the shit talking that was going on before this.
Yeah, what'd you think about that, Olwhitee?
I would have to agree with everything I just heard. You know, I agree. He looked like he had lost the fight before it ever started. He looked across the ring like, "What am I doing here?" And he fought the fight like that. He was outmatched from start to finish, and to be put out on the ground and get to see his flat Earth up close.
Well, yeah, for real. I think I told you guys
Sorry,
this
guys.
earlier in the
You guys
week
opened
that
the door.
right, and he did. He was definitely finding out something
As
when he
close
was
as
passing
you
out.
get to that flat Earth.
Right. But I was saying that from the beginning, even on the pre-pressers, that Silva was playing the mind games. He brought the globe. He got the crowd interactive. He got them barking. He got them chanting F Bryce Mitchell over and over again. And I don't think Bryce Mitchell has had that adversity with that. I just don't think he could overcome those mind games, especially when he got online the next day and was like, "All these demons, I can't sleep. I need y'all to pray for me." I was like, "Oh, these mind games are real heavy. I don't know if I can bet."
We talked about that.
Yeah, bet against all that mind game. Yeah, so that's why I went with Silva. Plus the fighting nerds being the analytics that they are. That was part of their strategy, in my opinion. Just from the jump. But impressive performance, and I love the barking. I love hanging from the cage. I thought I think he's going to blow up. I think he's going to be something next.
That second round when he started talking to him, and he was like talking shit to Bryce. Like I knew, like he knew he already had him. You know what I mean? Like you were saying earlier, Whitey, that he lost that fight before he even stepped in the ring. And this is something that me and Mike had talked about previously, is that the head games were so strong that he had already gotten into his head. He had already lost that fight. And that's why I I played the devil's advocate on the pick, because I wanted to see, like, is he the type of person that can rise from the ashes and like take this and use it for, like to get that win. But we didn't see that, so I think we answered that question.
Yeah, Whitey, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just, like I said, as soon as he walked in there, even on his walkout, he just no confidence there. He's holding the flag behind him. He was doing his stick, but
Well, let me throw
this
this out there. Let me play advocate here. Let's give Bryce Mitchell maybe that he could have came back from that mind game a little bit. But I think it was more than that. I think it was that mind game from that, but also the pressure. He just got over all this big media thing where him saying the wrong stuff and everybody's hounding on him. He probably felt cornered the whole time, probably felt uneasy from both of those. And then when the mind games came, there was too much for him to handle, too much weight, and he collapsed.
I don't
Now,
know.
did both of you guys go for Mitchell?
Huge quality difference.
Did both of you guys go for
No.
Mitchell?
No, I believe I went with Silva.
Yeah, I went Mitchell.
Okay. So, hey, not for right now we're
But
all one. We're all 1-1.
Of, like I said, Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm 2-0, but I'm about to be 1-0 because I was like
2-0.
Pitbull. Yeah, I was like Pitbull all the way on this one. I didn't think Yair had it. I thought him arguing with Diego Lopes was more mind games, but yeah, I don't know. What'd you think? Pitbull just look a little nervous there, old Whitey?
I actually went with Rodriguez on the call, but my emotional thing, what I wanted Pitbull to win. And my question on this is the step up in the UFC that big a step for him? Is he going to be, I guess we'll know more on his next fight, but I expected more from him, at least a closer fight.
Or hey, maybe Yair is the next challenger. Maybe Pitbull's going to run through a couple more people and fight Yair down the road again. Yair looked really good. He definitely, I make fun of Bellator all the time that they're the B league, but he really did kind of make it look A and B league out there. What'd you think, Jason?
Absolutely. I mean, if you just excuse me, if you just look at the stats from that fight, overwhelmingly Yair Rodriguez, overwhelmingly everything from his total strikes to the significant strikes. I mean, it was a clinic. I mean, yeah, it was a 3-round decision, but he put on a clinic the whole entire time. And it was like Pitbull just like he couldn't pull the trigger. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was, the starlight. Maybe it was Yair having, this prestige. Like I'm not sure, but Yair just looked the way better fighter. Way better.
I was really pumped on my bets because
like
I said, I was on a 2-fight streak right here, and then Yair had to go and steal it from me. Now this was one of my bigger bets, so I still came out pretty good, even though I lost this one. But I was definitely like Pitbull all the way. He's coming over. At least he's a champ. He can at least make a run for the title, and then But no, it really did seem A and B league. Did you feel that way too, Olwhitee?
I feel exactly the same way. That's what I said. Was it really that big of a step up coming into the UFC? And I don't think it was the bright lights or any of that. He's had all that. He's been the champ. He's had, all the adulation. He knows where he wanted to be. He just couldn't get there.
Yeah, but Bellator champ and UFC champ is two different things.
Once again, is it that big a step up? Because it looked like it in the fight.
I think me and Mike had talked about this before. Sorry.
Exactly. That's where I was going.
How many guys have come over and really been successful? Not a lot. It's literally, you can count them on one or two hands. You know what I mean? Like, so it is a challenge. I mean, it's a different level it's a different caliber of fighter, of training, of having to do all that plus media. Like there's a whole lot more that goes into it when you're in the UFC.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I really hadn't factored in all the extra media and everything, but if he's just coming in the UFC, the UFC is the elite. They have everything, the gyms, the doctors, everything's in house. And I'm sure it's not that way at Bellator.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it's a pretty drastic change just to get used to that as well.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah. See, I'm not sure. Maybe it was a little bit nervous. He did say it was a little bit different between Ryzen and Bellator, and even though he had seen the spotlights, it was slightly different. Maybe it was just nerves. Maybe we should have gave him a tune-up fight before we threw him in the top 5. To really let him kind of loosen up a little bit, and then let him take a top 5. I don't know if we should, just because he has the accolades from the B leagues, air quotes over here, that we should just be sending him to the title or the top 5. Maybe let's give him some tune-ups. You know what I mean? See if they can really get it. Give him like number 6 or 7. If he does that, then we'll throw him in there with somebody in the top 5.
Yeah, it's like take baseball or football or any other sport where you've got your A team, your B team, your C team, your B team. All right, you're coming up out of the B team. You're not gonna step up to starting on the A team. You're going to be sitting back. You're going to be fighting for that secondary position, even on the A team. Do you know what I mean? So
right.
It is strange to throw him into that just because he has, you said, these accolades in Rising and Bellator.
He's coming in from another league. He's got great accolades. You're number 10. We'll put you at number 10. You're going to need to fight your way up. Maybe you get 2 or 3 fights, boom, and you're at a title fight. And 2.
Say 11. You need to fight your way into the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, how many fights did they make Pereira fight? You know what I mean? They made him fight 3 or 4, before at least 3 before he got up there to the title fight. He had to go through some people. I feel like they should have done that with him.
But he also won. You know what I mean?
He did.
That makes a big.
But
difference.
I mean, they started him lower down the ranks, though. He didn't start off with a ex-champion or ex-interim champion. They threw him in there with kind of a no-name guy, and then they gave him like Sean Strickland and all these guys who were like title contenders at the time, because Strickland hadn't even won it yet. But You know, he goes through him. He
Well,
goes through a couple.
Let's flip it around and say that he won. Then who do you give him next? Say he does win and he gets that top 5 position. Then who do you give him next? You do another Pereira scenario where you give him maybe 2 more fights, give him a second or third, and then the challenger.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
I mean the featherweight category has been shooken up anyway. So, with the relinquish of the belt and Volk getting it back, and we've got a bunch of guys underneath that need to fight it out now. We got Diego that just lost. He needs to kind of get another win. We've got we've got Yair. We got Gene Silva. I'd like to see him maybe fight Gene Silva, Gene Silva's what, rank 7 now or something like that. We should have started him lower in the rank. You know what I mean? And seeing if he could handle that. Now, Gene Silva looked good though, so he may be somebody who can make a title. But still, he's unranked right now. Or low ranked right now. We should have fed him to the lower ranked guys and see if we can do it.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel. We should have ranked him at 10, and then we should have made him fight his way up 2 or 3 fights. I don't care who it is. As long let him get comfy before we just feed him to the beast of the featherweight division. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Part of this also makes me wonder: is he gonna stick around, or is it like, oh, we fed you to the wolves, you didn't make it, and now he's gonna be deterred from wanting to come back and fight in the UFC more? If this is what's gonna be. Maybe he came in thinking, oh, this is going to be a fight that should be fairly.
No, not really, because he didn't get finished. If he would have got knocked out or submitted, possibly, but going the full distance, I think he's just like, I had the jitters. Let's get another one in now. I think I'm ready to go. What do you think, Dad?
I think they're going to fight him. I like a Silva fight. I really like the sound of that. That I would watch that, but this is a business, and knowing Dana White, he lost a little bit of his draw power by losing that first fight going in the UFC. People would be more inclined to tune in to see him fight the second fight had he walked through this guy. They'd be going, yeah, let's watch him. No, he lost his first fight. It's not, yeah, he's on the card.
Doesn't make me want to watch him again. Before that, I'm like, who? Pitbull? Who? It's not. It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Now, does that deter him from wanting to continue fighting in the UFC?
Oh, who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that?
Well, he's got the name. Okay, he's got the name.
Well, we'll see what happens. I think he can still, if we, rank him 10, let him go up. He can still get 3 or 4 fights in and still get a title run up there, and then retire with the UFC gold. It's possible. He's got to go through Yair again at some point to do that. So I know he'll probably want to rematch that somewhere down the line. But what do you guys think about this Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler fight that was ended up being the fight of the night, guys? Do you agree it should be the fight of the night, Olwhitee?
Yes, I do, and I spanked you on that one. I called that one hard. I was Paddy all the way, and still
all the way, baby,
all the way. I'm
right. All right, get it out of the way, guys. Yep. Gloat it up. I know.
I'm spanking you bad on that one because I knew that you were all on Chandler.
If these weren't recorded as live, I'd be putting little mullets on you guys with the editing tool.
Here's the thing. I was a little concerned in the very beginning because Chandler did look good in that first round. He would look like classic Chandler. He was pressure. He was catching it. He caught him a couple times. And then, Paddy turned around and did his Paddy thing and fucking kind of just overwhelmed him. I think he did gas out. Me and Mike before podcast were kind of talking about it. I think he gassed out a little bit because I think he thought he had Paddy there in the beginning.
I'd have to agree with you. But I'll tell you what impressed me is big Pimblett was. He just looked huge, and I just never thought that before when I've seen him fight, how big he was. But he just came in just next to him. He was the bigger man. He was the stronger man. He was the faster man. all
I mean,
night.
the body
You know,
transformation with Patty is just amazing. I mean, to get that shredded.
I don't know
I
how he
mean,
does it.
he's
I
like,
don't
yeah,
either.
they're saying he weighs like 225 pounds, and then he's like, 6 8 weeks down the road, he's just like shredded, like 8-pack, ready to go. Man, his fucking delts look giant. Like he had huge shoulders going on.
They did, didn't they?
It's like, yeah, he's on
He's
that
like
Derek
that
for more dates,
Hollywood
more
buff
plates
mode.
shoulders going on, like big, Death Star shoulders going on. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, Patty looked good. I we'll see if he can keep it up. Give him some. Chandler. He's also the Bellator thing that we were just talking about. B League. He came in and he's still as impressive and exciting as he is. Still 4 or 5 losses in a row. You know what I mean? Like the only the
But the
one
thing
the
is,
one good knockout was for Ferguson, and he was on his way out anyway.
I'm trying to think of who it was. A little Hispanic guy that always came in just tore through everybody. But he was later in his career, he was losing a lot of fights. But same sort of thing. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is he's a fun watch because he goes hard, and everybody likes that. So as long as you're going out there and you're fighting hard, you're not sitting back here either point fighting or just waiting for something to happen. Like that's what people really want. I mean, it like you said earlier, it's a business, it's a show. That's why they're partnering with fucking WWE, UFC, shit like that. It's a show. Like it's people want to see knockouts, people want to see action, and Chandler is action. So we'll continue to see it as long as he wants to fight.
Now, he's going on 4 losses, but those are fight of the night losses.
That's even worse.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Because sometimes you're
where
the
does he go
highlight,
from
and
here is the question.
sometimes you're the highlight, and sometimes you get a highlight. And he's been the
That's right.
highlight quite a few times lately.
Right. But like I said, he's still a draw. I love the guy, and he's a good guy. It seems to be. I mean, I don't know him, but everything I read, everything I see, the interviews, he seems to be a good guy and pretty much down to earth. So yeah, I'm always in his corner.
He seems like a good guy outside the UFC. Unfortunately, he's on a skid. He did come out today and say he was definitely not going to retire. So we will get to see another exciting Chandler fight. But who would you guys like to see Pimblett against? And yes, and before we get into that, yes, I lost horribly on this one, guys. This was one of my bigger bets, and I was all in. However, Jason, we did give him a $10 wager, and he put it on Pimblett. So I did get some money back. Like, what'd you say, like $650 in wins back on that one?
$6 on top
Now,
of it, yeah.
here's something else though. As I went into the parlay bets and picked all of the parlays at a micro bet, so I got an extra $8.50 back on that one. So overall, I got over $25 about back on that fight. So wasn't a complete loss. That's about what I bet on. I bet 25 on Chandler. So could have been better. Chandler was the underdog, so it would have been a big payout. I still did pretty good on the overall bets, especially going into the main fight where I was all the way Volkanovski on this one. So I ended up overall with the fights. I got 3 out of the 5. How did you guys do? Jason.
I did well. I was all the way Volkanovski. Sorry, jumped right in front of you, Jason.
No, you're good. You're good.
I
I
couldn't hold
went with
myself back.
Lopes on this one, so I got 3 out of 5 also. But I was not disappointed with Lopes. Like that kid has got a hell of a chin. Holy hell! Every straight that Volkanovski threw at him, and just stood there and took it. So, I mean, I think with a little bit more refinement, like I think he can be a champion. He's definitely stood in there clearly with a champion. Went 5 rounds, you know what I mean? Like, but Volkanovski, he's been there. He knows what it takes, and he pointed him up all night. So I gotta give it to Volkanovski, even though I went with Lopez and I liked what I saw. Yeah, I lost that one. So
How'd you do,
I was
Whitey?
Alexander all the way. I did well. I was Alexander all the way. Now, Lopez, I was impressed. He kept coming forward, and that's his style, is to always keep coming forward. And that was just a mistake.
yeah,
He can't take a step back or to stay out of range, because that always moving forward, that always leaves that opportunity for that shorter man to get inside and do what he did. Because if he can slip the jab, if he can slip that longer punch, he's inside with 3 punches.
Yeah, he did. He did well. I said it was Volkanovski. I thought he was going to put on a clinic. He put on a clinic. He more than doubled the significant strikes. Now you're right. Diego Lopez does look like, with a little bit of refinement, he can come back from this. He's definitely young enough to make the bounce back, make the adjustments, and look pretty good. Who would you guys like to see him with, Jason? Next, who would you pair him up with? Do we throw him in there with Yair? Do we give him Silva? Do we let these guys figure it out like tournament style and see who's the next challenger? Because there's really no clear cut in my opinion who's next.
what is? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look up the current featherweight standings.
I think it's Volkanovski, Lopez, Yair's number 5 or 4.
So Max Holloway, we forgot about fucking Holloway. How do you forget about Holloway?
Because he's not coming back down to 40. He's not coming back down to 45.
No. So Lopez, I think Yair looked amazing. But Yair and Lopez, what does that do? So then I guess between Yair and Lopez, whoever wins that fights Holloway. Or no, because Holloway's going to fight Volkanovski, right? Clearly. So that
Holloway's about to fight Poirier for Poirier's retirement fight in June.
Okay, so Holloway's out. And so, okay, then he fights either Supura or,
Ilya's gone too. Ilya went up. Ilya's gone. That's why they fought for the belt. There's no Ilya anymore.
Is it showing this curve?
Ilya let the belt go so he could go up. Yep, was what?
I think the only fight that makes sense is Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yair's the next.
You don't fight Silva. You don't fight Pitbull. You don't fight
Yair said that he was promised a title fight if he won. Yair said that. He said Sean, the matchmaker, said that if he won, that he would get the next title fight. So it is possible.
So Volkanovski, Yair?
And Volk says whoever. They've already fought before. Volk KO'd him.
Yeah, whoever.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
We saw Roundtree come up from like eighth. So hey, let's just throw Silva in there and see if he can get it. He was exciting.
I still think Pitbull Silva is a better fight.
I did that, and the dogs went crazy in the other room.
I think Gene Silva and Lopez would be a good fight.
I think that's a good fight too. Now Yair and Lopez were going at it in the presser, though. That would be a good fight.
That just for the energy.
But if Yair's going to be it's going to be Volkanovski Yair.
Yeah.
Next, likely. So he's not going to fight before that.
Now, I would like to see. Now, if Ilya somehow could beat Makhachev, I would love to see the Volkanovski rematch for the 55. I mean, if that lined up perfect, that's how it would go. I don't see Makhachev losing.
That's a tall task. I was like, that's a tall task. Makhachev is not losing, bro.
Now, I know you shot it down and it's not going to happen, but boy, it sure would be an interesting fight to see Holloway fight Lopez. just the styles.
Oh my God! They would
My
just bang.
God,
They would just stand.
They're both pointing down like the whole time, just in the middle of the ring.
Sock'em robots, just
Whoever wins in the first 2 minutes of the fight.
Oh my God!
Throw them in there to catch weight for the what was the toughest ass fighter, whatever they had.
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's
Baddest
what Poirier's
motherfucker.
fighting for.
Yeah.
They're gonna him and Poirier are fighting for that. Dustin just wants a
Like I
title
said,
before
that
he
was-
retires. He's like something that's not an
Right.
interim.
Something, anything.
That's right. I'm always not going to give it to him. Trust me.
No, but I don't see Poirier falling for that same thing Gaethje did though.
No.
But it is a good fight. I would like to see both those guys go at it. Hey, Max wanted to jump back down now that but the whole thing is, do we want to see Max Holloway, Volkanovski 4 and 5 and 6? Not me.
No.
No, I
So
think we know how it goes.
and that's part of the reason why he went up,
4, 5, and 6.
right? Well, the next fight night we have, the main fight is going to be Ian Gary versus Carlos Prates. Who do you guys think on that one, Olwhitee?
Gary.
Really,
Same with
think
you?
So,
Yeah.
no, I think Prates got this.
I mean, they're both pretty good at short notice for Ian Gary too. I think he took this because this was supposed to be Khalil Roundtree, Jamal Hill, and then this is
he
the
has
step
a
up.
3.5 reach advantage. I don't know. He's got experience. I mean,
Oh wow,
I don't know. Yeah, that's a huge reach advantage.
Wow.
7 to 8 inch reach.
Kidding.
Yeah, that's pretty good. What about that co-main though? You
Big
think
draw.
Anthony Smith's about to get knocked out by that big Asian?
Yes.
What what's sad is yes. I don't want to see it, but I think Anthony Smith is on the way out, bro. Like
Like I said, what Anthony are we gonna get? We gonna
I
get the
don't know.
submission artist, or we gonna get the guy who's still crying on his way to the walkout? Like,
I think they're serving him up, actually.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure this is his last fight too. I think he's saying this is
He's
his
lost
retirement
the
fight.
last couple. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's on his way out. They're bringing this young guy in. Come on. He's
I don't see it.
26. He's 10 years younger than him, man. Yeah.
And Anthony's always been a
Not gonna help
50-50
you,
in my opinion anyway. He's not like a yeah.
Not going to help.
Yeah, I think Ming Yang's got this one.
Yeah, well, I'm leaning towards that too. That's why I said, do you think Anthony Smith's going to get knocked out?
Yeah.
It's actually this guy knockout artist. Let's take a look real quick, guys.
Let's see.
Oh, is this his debut? Oh, wow. The Mountain Tiger.
Shit.
Oh, dude, his name is the Mountain
All right,
Tiger, bro.
well,
This is
let's see.
he's Mountain Tiger versus the Lionheart. Yeah,
Assassin.
Mountain Tiger. Mountain Tiger.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's see what happens.
Like you said, 26 debut. They got to feed him somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, this guy's on his way out. It's a good one.
That is
We
a
can."
good fight.
They're like, "We can retire Anthony Smith and prop this new guy up."
It's a 2-for-1.
You know what? I bet
How
Anthony
can
Smith.
Davis-
Anthony Smith has got to really kick himself in the ass for not taking the title from John Jones off that knee to the head. What do you think? Olwhitee?
Exactly. He should have taken it. Even if he only kept it for a week, he should have taken
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Take it.
At least on the books and the paycheck
Carry
and
it
everything,
around
it would have
like
been champ.
Olwhitee for a week.
That's right.
Yeah, he could at least gotten a belt.
I mean, hey, it ended up working out good for Aljamain. That's how we found about that guy. He got the title by getting kneed in the head, and next thing you know, he was on a run there for a while. Could have been what Anthony needed, but hey, he was being too Lionhearty and then lost that one.
Well, Anthony Smith's been a stepping stone for a little while. I think they're serving him up this time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
He's the last few fights. So
now on the, I am thinking Zhang's got this, but I think Ian Gary might get this. He's finally lost his O. We'll see if he can turn that up a notch. And I mean, he actually looked good against Rachmanov. So I think I am leaning towards Ian Gary. He'll at this point, we'll see. Maybe later in the week, you guys can change my mind.
We'll see.
This is one of those ones where he's the younger guy, but that reach, man.
That's Prates.
Here's the thing: Prates has the reach, but Ian Gary has tons of kicks though that counteract that. So I think if he's head kicks him, he's a super kicker. So I'm like, I think Ian Gary keeps his distance like he does. He'll probably point it out to the end, but he's got those head kicks where he could, he's got teeps and head kicks, and he could definitely knock it out. So that's why I'm kind of leaning Ian Gary, because I don't think that reach is going to be as big a difference with the kicks, unless Carlos, really does tag him and turn it up.
Well, and if he can figure out how to get inside the reach, it becomes a deficit for at that point. You don't know what to do with the exactly. What if you can figure out how to get inside of it? Then with the kicks, I'm going with Gary on this one.
All right, we'll see. It's 2-1 here.
All right. Well, we'll see how this one plays out. I think they did end up rebooking. Jamal Hill and them. I think it's going to be in June. So we'll still see Roundtree and them go out. I still want Jamal to go down, like as 2 thumbs down on his thing. Make it rain, Jason. Make it rain.
Oh.
My fan club's calling me.
All right. And then, all right. Well, guys, how'd you do, Dad? How many did you win? How many did you lose on that? Did you go? Did you get 3 or 2 on that one?
I think I got 3 on that one.
So we all did. We all got 3, and it's not too bad. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens on this next fight night. We'll do a recap on that one. Maybe we can get all together for another one later in the week, guys. But it was great having everybody on. I'm glad this worked out. Actually, everybody was easy to see. We didn't mess that up. Good job, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bells.
Hit the like button.
Jason with all his special effects over here. That's right, guys. Hit the notification. Yeah, that's right. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Hey, start looking.